Hello and welcome to lesson number 5 of the Orange Strap Studies. So in this lesson we're going to be learning bar chords. That's right, bar chords, everybody's favorite. And a bar chord is essentially a chord where you hold any one of your fingers on more than one string at a time. For example, if I play these two notes, technically this is a bar chord, or these three, with one finger, or 4, or 5, or 6. Technically this is making a bar, but we're going to use this technique, putting other notes, to create the standard bar chords that you all know and love. So let's go ahead and do that. Get in tune and let's play. Alright, so let's go ahead and learn the 6 basic bar chord shapes. So first thing you need to know is that we're going to be doing major and minor bar chords. Now these are movable shapes. You can use them for any chord. That's what's so great about them. And there are basically 3 different places we're going to root from, meaning the lowest note that we play is our root. It's the name of the chord. So for example, there's 3 types. One is rooting from the 4th string. Remember, the E string here is actually number 1. Second string is B, third string is G, D is 4, A is 5, E is 6. So rooting from the 4th string. Now the 4th string bar chord roots always start with the 3rd finger. Let's go ahead and put our 3rd finger on the 5th fret, right on the tip top. Now this note is G. It's very important that when you're playing bar chords, you're paying attention to the note on the string. So remember, if we're doing this, finding the G note on the D string, we play D, up to E, up to F, whole step to G. So I want you to put your 3rd finger there. Then we're going to put our 2nd finger on the 4th fret of the G string, right behind it, and then we're going to make the bar. So first finger is going to go ahead and be placed on actually 2 strings, the B and the E string. And it's going to hold both of them down. Now it's very important to keep the thumb down super low. You don't want your thumb up high. You want it down real low on the bottom of the back of the neck. Super duper low. That lets you get your wrist out, all the knuckles rounded, allowing you to get on the tip top of your finger. Bar chords can be really difficult at first, but mainly the thing is having good technique. So you want to have your thumb down low and right at the tip tops of your fingers, knuckles rounded. Another huge part of the bar chord is this. This knuckle right here, the very first one closest to your fingernail, needs to be flat. It cannot be up. If it's up, it's not going to work. So what you're going to want to do is put the first finger right behind the metal bar. You can flatten it on the fret and then squeeze it right behind the bar. You want to make sure this knuckle is down and this knuckle is up a little bit. This can be tough. Sometimes people's hands just go like this, but you might want to have to, if it's doing that, you might have to put your finger on that knuckle and literally move it to where it's straight, flat, this one is up. That's the key to holding it. And then on the other side with our thumb, we're pinching to hold them down. So you want to make this and add these fingers again. So this is how you do a major bar chord rooting from the 4th string. 3rd finger, 2nd finger, and then 1st finger bars 2. It's kind of going in a diagonal line as well. You can kind of see that. Okay, so this is major, so you're going to want to memorize this shape ASAP. Let's go ahead and do the same for minor. So the minor shape is very similar. The only difference is we're going to move our 1st finger. We're actually going to bar 3 strings. The first 3 will take our 2nd finger off. Just like this. Same thing, this knuckle has to be flat. So you're going to want to get your finger straight and butt it right up against the back of the fret. Not on top of it, because you will hear a muted sound, but just behind it. That's where you want to be. 3rd finger here, thumb down low, major part, wrist out, knuckles round. And we want to hear each note one at a time clear. Squeeze tight. If this is really hard, squeeze super tight until it hurts the tongue, and then relax, because you have to build muscles in your hand, and don't worry, they will grow stronger. So again, major, this one's the major shape, and then the minor bars 3. So memorize this as soon as you can. Whatever you need to do, major, minor. This is the bar chords for the 4th string root. Now let's go ahead and move to the 5th string root. We're going to go ahead and continue to use G. So I need you to find the G note on the A string, which we learned in lesson 4. So A string, A, B, C, D, E, F, G is right here. Or you could have started on this A, 12th fret, and go down a G, even closer. Now, we're going to go ahead and do the major. There's actually a couple ways to do this. There's 2 ways. I'm going to show you both of them. However, I'm going to go ahead and start with the one, it's kind of like an A shape, just like we play A major right here, right? Well, actually, that's like a bar chord, because if you had more fretboard, you would have to put your finger here to hit these open notes. You have to do it like this. See that? So we got the 2nd finger, 3rd and the 4th, and then the 1st. Now if we just take that and move it, that's the major shape. So we're going to move that all the way to G note. Make sure you're playing this with me. You're going to make that A shape by squeezing these in and making this bar. We're going to hit 5 strings. For me, this one is very tough. For some people, that's easy. So I choose to use this bar chord for the major, rooting from the 5th string. You can use whichever works better for you. The other one is like this. So we're going to take the 3rd finger. Now the 3rd finger bars on this one. 1st finger is going to be on the root. 1st finger is on the root, and we're not making a bar. Just touching this one note, the 3rd finger must bar. Now just like the other one, this knuckle must be all the way down. If it's up, it won't work, because you see it's above the strings. It has to be flat. So this knuckle has to be down, and this knuckle can be up to hold it. Now we're also only going to hit these 3 strings. We're not going to hit the high E string. So 1st finger, and then we make a bar here, just behind the fret. Totally straight finger, not crooked in any way. So make sure, if that's happening, you simply turn your wrist. See that? Simply turn your wrist, make it straight. Let's knuckle down, and we're going to play these 4 inside notes only. This is a major bar chord rooting from the 5th string. It happens to be G major because this note is G. This note was F, there's F major, E major, D major, C major, B major, A major. So try that out. Make sure each note is clear. Now, let's go ahead and try the minor. So the minor one, you keep the 1st finger here. However, then we're going to put our 3rd finger on the very next fret with a whole step apart from the 1st finger. So we skip a fret. So G, 3rd finger, then the pinky right behind it. So these 2 are squeezing in on the same fret. And the 2nd finger right here, a half step below these 2. And this one we're actually going to bar with our 1st finger all the way across. So it looks like this. And this is actually an A minor shape. Like an A minor chord. And just like if we had more fretboard, we'd have to do that. It's movable. 1st finger, 3rd finger, 4th finger, 2nd finger, and 1st finger bars. So it's playing these 2. Same thing, right behind the fret. Another thing with bar chords is you don't want to use more than you need. So don't have your finger sticking way out over here. You only need it to be on this string. So this one is the minor. Make sure you memorize this ASAP. Major from the 5th string, only the inside 4. Minor. And last, you're going to use this major one. You can play all 5. So those are the major from the 5th string. Let's go ahead and do the last one, reading from the 6th string. So find the note G on the 6th string, the E string. So E, F, G. Now this one is very similar. The 1st finger will be the bar, and it will also be the root. So for this major one, we're going to put our 1st finger here on G. Same thing, a whole step higher, next string. 3rd finger, pinky right behind it. Then 2nd finger, just like we did with that last minor one. And then this 1st finger is going to bar. So this one's going to play. It's going to bar 3 of the strings. This has to be totally flat. This one can be a very challenging one. So you want the first finger just behind the fret, squeezed totally straight right behind it. If your finger's doing something like this, look, all you got to do is tilt your wrist and it will go straight. You see that? We just move the wrist. Another thing is, where's your elbow? If your elbow is stuck in your body, it's going to be like that. So we want to get the elbow out, thumb down low, wrist out a little bit, finger totally flat, right behind the fret, totally straight. If it's not straight, you just simply got to move your wrist, move your elbow. See that? We want it to be straight, and don't use so much of the finger sticking out, just enough. So this is the major one. You want to hear clean notes. Again, this might be really tough, so pinch, squeeze tight, make sure it's all down. If it's really hard, don't worry. Keep playing it every day. You will build strength and it'll work. So let's go ahead now and do the minor. So the minor from the 6th string is just this, but we take the 2nd finger off. Now be aware that we have to hear this note on the G string. That's what makes it minor. Right there. And that one can be the hardest one to hear sometimes. So make sure your finger is flat, right behind the fret, squeezing, pinching super strong. If you can hear them all clean, you're good. Same thing, finger straight. Move the wrist if you need. So that is minor. Memorize it ASAP. And let's go ahead and recap. Here's the major from the 4th string. And there's the minor. Here's the major from the 5th string. Here's the minor. 6th string, major, minor. Memorize them ASAP. Thank you so much for joining me in lesson number 5 of the Orange Strap Studies, where we're learning bar chords. Now, bar chords are extremely useful, extremely practical, and they can be challenging at first, but don't let that scare you. You got to stick it out and learn these things because it's going to help you a ton with all of your music, okay? So, work on these right away. Major, minor, all 3 string sets, and we're going to be using them in the lessons to come. Great job, and we'll see you in the next lesson.